Krishna Upanatai, things obtained because of severe miseries, Arthai, even in some right? Kamai, which can be one's as Yeta, what do they do, Kim, and what is the value of such happiness? We are reading 7.13.31 translation. Materialist activities are always mixed with three kinds of material conditions: Adhyatmika, Adidevik, and Adibhautik. Therefore, even if one achieves some success by performing such activities, what is the benefit of this success? One is still subjected to birth, death, old age, disease, and the reaction of the future activities. Very good. According to the materialistic way of life, if a poor man, after laboring very, very hard, gets some material profit at the end of his life, he is considered a success. Even though he again dies while suffering the threefold misery, adhyatmic, devak, no one can escape the threefold miseries of materialistic life, namely miseries pertaining to the body and mind, adhyatmic, miseries pertaining to the difficulties posed by society, adidaivic, and community, nation, and other entities, and miseries inflicted upon us by natural disturbances from earthquakes, famine, droughts, floods, epidemics, and so on. Adibhavati. If one works very hard, suffering the threefold miseries, and then is successful in getting some small benefit, what is the value of this benefit? Besides that, even if a karmi is successful in accumulating the material wealth, he still cannot enjoy it, for he must die in bereavement. I haven't seen a dying man begging a medical attendant to increase his life by 4 years so that he could complete his material plans. Of course, the medical man was unsuccessful in expanding the life of the man, who therefore died in great grief. And everyone must die in this way, and after one's mental condition is taken into account by the laws of real nature, he is given another chance to fulfill his desires in a different body. Material plans for material happiness have no value, but under the spell of the illusory energy, we consider them extremely valuable. What is that? Material plans and for material happiness have no value, because that material plan, that material happiness, and that material body in which we want to experience that happiness, everything is temporary, including the material world himself. So everything is under the spell of the illusionary energy, and what we are considering them as very extremely valuable. But everything is material. So there were many politicians, social reformers, and philosophers who died very miserably without deriving any practical value from their material plans. They did a lot of things, but what happened? Nothing happened. They died. No, the material plans are like that. Therefore, a sane and sensible man never desires to work hard under the conditions of threefold misery, only to die in disappointment. Okay, so I think this similar class we have today at 9 o'clock. Okay, you all can attend. It is about this only, how a person should plan his life. People are in the materialistic life, or like family, job, everything they have now. So how they can plan properly so that they can same time work and same time do bhakti. Okay. Pashyami dhaninam klesham luptanam atmanam भयादल निद्राणाम सर्वतो विभीषण shankinam pashyami. I can practically see dhaninam, of us who are very rich, klesham, the nidri, luptanam, who are extremely greedy, ajit atmanam, who are victims of their senses, bhayat, because of fear, alabdha nidranam, who are suffering from insomnia, sarvata, from all sides, adi vishankinam, being particularly afraid. The Brahman continued. Okay, this Brahman is telling to Prahlad Maharaj, I'm actually seeing how a rich man who is a victim of his senses, very greedy to accumulate wealth, and therefore suffers from insomnia due to fear from all sides, despite his wealth and opulences. Very nice. Okay, greedy capitalists accumulate wealth under so many miserable conditions. The result being that because they collect money by questionable means, their minds are always agitated. Thus, they are unable to sleep at night and they have to take pills for mental tranquility to invite sleep. They are not feeling sleepy, right? Many businessmen, big CEO or owners of the companies, they take sleeping tablets, pills to sleep. Their sleep is gone. They got so much money, but they cannot sleep. What is the point? Huh? So be careful. Okay. And sometimes even the pills are a failure. Sometimes people are not able to sleep even after taking sleeping pills, and they go to doctor and they go to the psychiatrist and so many places that नींद नहीं आ रही है. Okay. For me, problem is that so much sleep is coming. I'm always feeling sleep. Some people are not at all feeling sleep. They got so much money that they are worried. What will happen? Okay. Some people are having, see, this material is like that. You will have always some worry. If you don't have money, they will worry. What will happen? I have no money. So this is the worry. Some people have so much money. They are also worried. What will happen? I have so much money. What will happen? Somebody may steal this, that. I may get business loss. This, there's so much. They are not able to sleep. Right? That's why this Brahmana has simply left everything and lying down in one place and nicely having set up. Consequently, the result of having accumulated money by so much labor is certainly not happiness but only distress. What is the value of acquiring a comfortable position if one's mind is always disturbed? You earn so much whole life, but you are not able to sleep, mind is disturbed. What is the point then? Narottam Das Thakur has therefore sung, Sansara Vishanale, Divanishi Yajwale, Judaite na Kainu Paya. Divanishi Yajwale. I am suffering from the poisonous effect of material enjoyment. Samsara Vishanate. Meaning, I am suffering from the poisonous Divanishi here and is almost on the verge of failure. Divanishi, day and night, my heart is burning. The result of the greedy, capitalist, unnecessary accumulations of wealth is that he must suffer from a blazing fire of anxiety and always be concerned with how to save his money and invest it properly to get more and more. Such a life is certainly not very happy, but because of the spell of the illusionary energy, materialistic persons engage in such activities. As far as our Krishna consciousness movement is concerned, we are getting money naturally by the grace of the God by selling our literature. This literature is not sold for our sense gratification. To spread the Krishna conscious movement, we need so many things. And Krishna is therefore supplying us the requesting money to advance this mission. Money is coming from day one, okay, for spreading the ISKCON. And it is spreading also. Now in all over the world, we have 700, 800 established branches. Okay. So, and chota center, no number only, so many, thousands and thousands of centers are there. So Krishna is supplying. The mission of Krishna is to spread Krishna consciousness all over the world. This is the mission of Krishna only, to spread Krishna consciousness all over the world. And for this purpose, we naturally must have sufficient money. Therefore, according to the advice of Sri Rupa Goswami Prabhupada, we should not give up attachment to money that can spread the Krishna conscious movement. We are not throwing money, we are utilizing money in the preaching. Sri Rupa Goswami says in his Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu. That's why Prabhupada had a lot of money, but all the money he used in spreading Krishna consciousness. Okay, प्रापंचिकतया बुद्ध्या हरिसंबंधी वस्तुना मुमुक्षुभि परित्यागो वैराग्यम फलतु कथ्यते. Okay, very high level concept this is. When persons eager to achieve liberation renounce things which are related to the Supreme Personality of Godhead, though they are material, this is called incomplete renunciation. The two words are there. One is called Phalgu Vairagya, one is called Yukta Vairagya. So this is the definition of Phalgu Vairagya. Money that can help in spreading the Krishna consciousness movement is not a part of the material world. So if you are earning and you can engage that money in Krishna consciousness, you yourself can preach or some other person preaching, you can help them by giving donation. So that is not material work. That is spiritual work only. So one should not think that, oh, spiritual life means only when I go and stay in Vrindavan, that is spiritual life. No, you can still work in your place and take care of your family and engage your results in the service of Krishna. What is the problem? Okay, that's why money is needed. Money is needed for reaching this work. If you understand that this spiritual knowledge has to spread all over the place, everybody should know. Then for that we need money, right? So if you have money, it's wonderful. Why you are throwing out? That is the idea here. Okay, why you are leaving the money? Okay, you can give that money in the service of Krishna. You can preach, you can engage all your money preaching. Okay, that's what Prabhupada did. So money that can help in spreading the Krishna consciousness movement is not a part of the material world, and we should not give it up, thinking that it is a material. This money is material thing, we should not give up. This is Yukta Vairagya. Many few people knows, and it is not somebody's own idea. It is from Shastra. That's why Prabhupada is saying. Sri Rupa Goswami advised, Anasaktasya Vishyan Yathartam Upyanjuta Nirbandha Krishna Sambandhe Yuktam Vairagyam Uchyate. Yukta Vairagya is the definition. When one is not attached to anything, first thing. When one is not attached to anything, but at the same time accept everything in relation to Krishna. You are not attached to your job or your salary, but you are accepting it because you want to serve Krishna. First. One is rigid, rightly situated above possessiveness. Okay. So you are not attached. You are not attached, but um, you are accepting it for the service of Krishna. Wonderful concept. For example, one is attached for a Mercedes car, a big car. So one can buy that car and engage that car in going to temple. That is one thing. Okay, that is one part. That is like karma yoga. You are attached to something and you are engaging. You can. But point is that you cannot live without that big car. So what is the point? You take the car and use the car in the service of Krishna, going to temple and giving a ride to the devotees and talking devotees, picking up devotees. Like that you can use. This is also nice. But there is another person who don't want car only. He's not at all attached to the car. He have no requirement of car. But somebody is saying, please take this car. He say, I don't want car. No, you take the car and use the car in the service of Krishna. Going and picking the devotees, dropping the devotees to their destination like that, you use this car. He said, okay, because you are saying for me to engage, use this car in Krishna's service, okay, I will accept. So he is not attached to the car. So he is not attached to the car, but he has accepted. He did not like the car, but he has accepted the car. Why? Because he understands that it is needed for the service of Krishna. Is it clear? But the first person, he liked the car. But now if he don't use it for service of Krishna, it is material thing. It is he will get karma. So he liked the car. He want to use the car, but what to do? He cannot leave the car. He want to use. So better you take the car and use it for the service of Krishna. Is it clear? A person have some desires. You want to marry. So you get married and you have wife and take the service of wife and utilize it in the service of Krishna. It's nice. But another person, he do not want to marry only. Okay, you do not want to marry, but somebody says, no, you please marry because now there is a need of marriage and you must marry and produce some children who can take the devotional service further. That is another, that is what? That is Yukta Vairagya. You understand? Okay. Like Kardam Muni, he did not want to marry, but Brahma said, no, you do it and have some kids and produce the population. So he said, okay, anyway, I don't want. So he accepted wife. So he was not attached to the wife and he utilized everything in the service of Krishna. This is called Yukta Vairagya. So there is difference between Karma Yoga and Yukta Vairagya. Okay? Everything I am accepting, I, for example, I already gave example. Now, two examples I give you. You can have more examples. I want to eat gulab jamun. So I will cook gulab jamun, offer it to Krishna, and then accept because I want it to eat. So it is okay. I offered it to Krishna. Now it is prasadam. I have taken it. But there is another person who is he don't want it, and he don't want it. But you are saying this is Krishna prasadam, and you are giving. Oh, it is Krishna prasadam. Please give me. Well, he is accepting because it is Krishna prasadam. I am accepting because it is gulab jamun. Okay, so this is the difference. If the vairagya should be understood properly, so I'm not attached to anything, but at the same time I'm accepting things for the service of Krishna. So when you see that, oh, I'm not attached to my job, I don't want to work in this job, I don't want to study, I don't want to do this household activities. Very good, you are not attached. Very nice. You want to renounce, you want to leave everything. Very nice. But if the situation is that you cannot leave, then you accept that in the service of Krishna. Okay, same time you can accept those things in relation to Krishna and use that thing in the service of Krishna. Anyway, you are not attached, so very good, very wonderful. But we accept that. Prabhupada did not want to. Prabhupada was simply living in Vrindavan, but in order to serve Krishna and preach mission, he went to US and he accepted those all things. He went in the planes, he stayed, he walked, he roamed in the cars, and all those facilities he accepted. Right? Why? Service of Krishna. Okay, I think I explained enough. It should be clear now. So money is undoubtedly coming in great quantities, but we should not be attached to this money for gratification. Okay, money is undoubtedly coming in great quantities, but we should not be attached to this money for gratification. Every cent should be spent for spreading the Krishna consciousness, not for such gratification. So this thing is Prabhupada is saying for the devotees that money is undoubtedly coming because some people will say where money is coming. I'm not getting money, but for devotees money is coming just like that. Money is undoubtedly coming in great quantities. Money is coming. Don't worry. For devotees, so much money is coming just like that. But we should not attach to this money, and we should not use it for sense gratification, and we should use it only for the service of Krishna, for spreading the Krishna consciousness. Every cent should be used. So there is danger for a preacher. Now this is very important for preachers. There is a danger for preacher when he receives great quantities of money, or as soon as he spends even a single cent of the collection for his personal sense gratification, he becomes a fallen victim. The preachers of the Krishna consciousness movement should be extremely careful not to misuse the immense quantities of money needed to spread this movement. Let us not make this money the cause of our distress. It should be used for Krishna, and that will cause our eternal happiness. Money is Lakshmi, or the goddess of fortune, the companion of Narayan. Lakshmi ji must always remain with Narayan, and then there need be no fear of degradation. So Lakshmi ji is money is Lakshmi. So Lakshmi ji should be engaged in the service of Narayan Krishna, not our service. If like Ravana tried to engage Lakshmi Sita in his service, what is the result? Ravana died, his Lanka was burned, his whole dynasty was finished, his whole country was destroyed. This is the result. Okay, so if we want to engage Lakshmi in our service, Remember Ravana's example. Okay. So, what is the point? Engage Lakshmi in the service of Krishna. राजतश्चौरतः शस्त्रो स्वजनात् पशुपक्षितः अर्थिभ्यः कालतः स्वस्मान् नित्यं प्राणार्थभयम्. Rajata from the government, Chaurata from thieves and robbers, Shatru from enemies, Swajanat from relative, Pashupakshita from animals and birds, Arthibhya from beggars and persons seeking charity, Kalataha from the time factor, Swasma as well as from oneself, Nityam always, Pran Arthavat for one who has life or money, Hayam fear. Those who are considered extremely, those who are considered materially powerful and rich are always full of anxieties because of governmental laws, thieves and rogues, enemies, family members, animals, birds, persons seeking charity, the inevitable time factor, and even their own self. Thus, they are invariably afraid. They are always afraid. The word sosamat means from oneself. Because of attachment for money, the richest person is even afraid of himself. He fears that he may have locked his money in an unsafe manner or might have committed some mistake. 10 times they will check the lock. Aside from the government and its income tax, and aside from these, even if it means own relatives are always thinking of how to take advantage of him and take his money. Even relatives are planning, family members are planning this person's money we should take. Sometimes their relatives are described as Swajanak Tasyu, which means robbers and thieves in the guise of relatives. Relatives are like thieves sometimes. When you have so much money, they will act like thieves. They want to always steal your money. Somehow, by hook and crook, they want to take away your money. So somebody we have seen sometimes some person was having no job, nothing, you waste, no money. That time no relatives, no friend will call him, hello, how are you? Nobody will call. All of a sudden, even family members will not call. All of a sudden he got wonderful job and start getting so much money. Everybody became dear. Oh my friend, oh my brother, oh my uncle, oh my this, oh everybody is calling him, and family members become very close. Oh my son, oh my brother, everybody becomes so close. Why? Because now you got money. This is the reality. Therefore, there is no need to accumulate wealth or unnecessarily endeavor for more and more. The real business of life is to ask, who am I? And to understand oneself. One should understand the position of the living entity in this material world and understand how to return home back to God again. Shokamo bhaya krodha raklevashramadaya yanmula shri jahya spraham pranarthayor buddha. Shoka, lamentation, moh, illusion, bhaya, fear, krodha, anger, raga, attachment, kilbya, plebya, poverty, shrama, unnecessary labor, adya, and so on. Yat mula, the original cause of all these. Siu become Nirnam of human being, Jayat. Should give us prana, that is our prana for bodily strength or prestige, arthyo, and accumulating money, buddha, and intelligent person. Those in human society who are intelligent should give up the original cause of lamentation, illusion, fear, anger, attachment, poverty, and unnecessary labor. The original cause of all these is the desire for unnecessary prestige and money. Ha 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 ha. What is that? Very, very important shloka this is. Okay. Prana arthayo. Okay. The desire for prestige and money. These two desires are there very horrible. Because of these two desires, we will get illusion, fear, anger, attachment. All the problems will come, and shram, unnecessary labor. Unnecessary people are working. Yeah, right. Even I have seen many people unnecessarily doing so much labor. Why? They want to have some prestige. What is the so much running here, there, going this, that? No, no need. But this prestige, desire for prestige and money, because of that only the human society is under this lamentation, miseries. Here is a difference between Vedic civilization and the modern demonic civilization. Vedic civilization concerned itself with how to achieve self-realization. And for this purpose, one was recommended to have a small income, maintain body and soul. Santushti niyen in somehow other when should be satisfied. The society was divided into Brahman, Kshatriyas, Vaishyas, and Sudras, and the members of this society would limit their endeavors to meeting their minimum demands. The Brahmanas, in particular, would have no material desire because the Kshatriyas had to rule the people. It was necessary for them to have money and prestige. But the Vaishyas were satisfied with agricultural produce and milk from the cow, and if by chance there were excess, trade was allowed. The Sudras were also happy, for they would get food and shelter from the three higher classes. In the demonic civilization of the present day, however, there is no question of Brahmanas or Kshatriyas. There are only so-called workers and a flourishing mercantile class who have no goal in life. According to Vedic civilization, the ultimate perfection of life is to take sannyas. But at the present moment, people do not know why sannyas is accepted. Because of misunderstanding, they think that one accepts sannyas to escape social responsibilities. Because of misunderstanding, people are thinking that somebody has taken sannyas only so that he will not have to do social responsibilities. But one does not accept sannyas to escape from responsibility to society. Generally, one accepts sannyas at the fourth stage of spiritual life. One begins as a brahmachari, then becomes a grihastha and a vanprastha, and finally a sannyasi to take advantage of the duration of one's life by engaging oneself fully in self-realization. Sannyas does not mean begging from door to door to accumulate money for sense gratification. However, because in Kali Yuga people are more or less prone to sense gratification, immature sannyas is not recommended. Okay, sannyas does not mean just free में सब कुछ आ जाए, ना? That does, people should not. Some people say, when they call, they ask, "Arey Prabhuji, you are nicely living, and everything is coming by your own. Is there any place for us also in temple?" They think it's nice that everything leave and everything will come by its own. No, sannyas is not for that purpose. Sannyas is for what purpose? Sannyas is for self-realization. Okay. Chilrup Goswami writes in the Nectar of Instruction, Atyara Priyasasya Vigalpo Nemagra Janasangasya Laulyam Cha Satvipakti Vinishati. Actually, this book which is quoted here, Nectar of Instruction, and for us, in order to progress very fast in bhakti, this book is very important, very, very important. Very small book actually it is. Only 11 shlokas are there, but this 11 shloka comprises everything. You know, whole, this is called a law book of ISKCON. This 11 shloka. Very, very important. Everyone should read this book and follow what it is said. And if somebody is able to follow this book properly, very quickly they will become pure devotee. Very quickly, right? So once devotional service is spoiled, so now here things are written from that book, okay, which will spoil our bhakti. So we are just starting our bhakti now. So we should know what can spoil our bhakti, destroy our bhakti, and we should be away from these things. These are six things. Sad bhir bhakti vinashyati. Vinash ho jayega bhakti ka by these six things. Okay, bhakti will be destroyed by these six things. What are those six things? Okay, eating more than necessary or collecting more funds than required, over endeavoring for mundane things that are very difficult to obtain, talking unnecessarily. I'm not going in detail of these things, I'm just reading. If you want to know, maybe some other time we can discuss, or you can read the book. Third, talking unnecessarily about mundane subject matters. Okay, talking unnecessarily. Okay, like media, news, and all those things. Practicing the scriptural rules and regulations only for the sake of following them and not for the sake of spiritual advancement, or rejecting the rules and regulations of the scripture and working independently or whimsically. And rules, too much rules and regulation without understanding the value of it. Associating with worldly minded person who are not interested in Krishna consciousness. People who are not interested in Krishna consciousness, if we are too much associating with them. This is the fifth. And sixth, being greedy for mundane achievements. Okay, so these six things are there which can destroy our bhakti. A sannyasi should have an institution meant to preach Krishna consciousness. He need not accumulate money for himself. We recommend that as soon as money accumulates in our Krishna consciousness movement, 50% of it should be invested in printing books. 50%. And 50% for expenditures, especially in establishing centers all over the world. The managers of the Krishna consciousness movement should be extremely cautious in regard to this point. Otherwise, money will be the cause of lamentation. Money will be the cause of lamentation, illusion, fear, anger, material attachment, material poverty, and unnecessary hard work. When I was alone, now Prabhupada is telling about himself. When I was alone in Vrindavan, I never attempted to construct mathas or temples. Rather, I was fully satisfied with the small amount of money I could gather by selling factory goddess. And thus, I would provide for myself and also print the literature. When I went to foreign countries, I lived according to the same principle. But when Europeans and Americans began to give money profusely, I started temples and deity worship. Okay, the same principle should still be followed. Whatever money is collected should be spent for Krishna and not for fathering poor sense gratification. This is the Bhagavad principle. Okay, Prabhupada is saying because I never tried for more money. Whatever was coming in Vrindavan, I was just managing with that. He used to sell one back to God and magic. He will write one magic, 3-4 pages, and he will sell whatever money he gets. He will manage. But now when he spread the movement in all over the world, this all European American people started giving him donations so much. So what to do with so much money? He made a temple. Okay, so that is the idea here. Money, if it comes, it should be engaged in Krishna consciousness. Otherwise, one should not hanker for Madhukaram Madhukaramaha sarpau lokesminnu guruttamau vairagyam paritosham cha prapta yachikshaya vayam. Madhukar, bees that go from flower to flower to collect honey. Ma sarpau, the big snake, the python which does not move from the one place to another. Loke, in the world, asmin desna, our Uttamau, first class, vairagyam renunciation. Paritosham cha, and satisfaction. Prapta, obtained yat sikshaya, by whose instruction. Vayam, we. The bee and the python are two excellent spiritual masters. Who are that? Bee, honeybee, and python are two excellent spiritual masters who give us exemplary instructions regarding how to be satisfied by collecting only a little and how to stay in one place and not move. Okay. So there are 26 gurus mentioned in the 11th canto. Okay, so bees and python are also very great guru. Okay, python does not work simply every manage whatever comes his own. Okay, and bee also collects small things and makes. But what is the point? The bee will make so much thing. Okay, and by the end some other body will take away. विरागा सर्व कामेभ्य शिक्षितो मे मधुव्रता कृच्छराप्तम मधुवृत्तम अत्वाप्यन्यो हरेत पतिम. Viraga detachment सर्व कामेभ्य from all material desires. Shita has been taught may unto me madhu vratat from the bumblebee krichra with great difficulty. Aptam acquired madhuvat as good as honey. Manu is honey. With the money hatva killing api even anya another hare takes away patim the owner. From the bumblebee, I have learned to be unattached to accumulating money. Okay, from bumblebee, what he is learning? To be unattached to accumulating money. For all the money is as good as honey. Anyone can kill its owner and take it up, right? Bumblebee will collect so much thing, and other people will take whatever they have collected and kill the bumblebee. So the honey gathered in the comb is taken away by force. Therefore, one who accumulates money should realize that he may be harassed by the government or by thieves or even killed by enemies. Especially in this age of Kali Yuga, it is said that instead of protecting the money of the citizens, the government itself will take away the money with the force of law. The learned Brahman had therefore decided that he should not accumulate any money. One should own as much as he immediately needs. There is no need to keep a big balance at hand, along with the fear that it may be plundered by the government or by thieves. Okay, that's what he's learning from Bumblebee. Aniya paritushtatma yadrachopanathadaham no chechhaye bhavahani mahahiriva sattvavan. Aniya, with no desire to possess more, paritushta, very satisfied, atma, yatracha, in its own way without endeavor, upnatar, by things brought in by profession, I know not cheti. So shay, I lie down bahu many ahani days, mahali, a paidaniva like sattvavan, and you. I do not endeavor to get anything, but I am satisfied with whatever is achieved in its own way. Okay, whatever is achieved in its own way. अपने आप जो आ गया, I am satisfied. If I do not get anything, I am patient and unagitated. Unagitated like a python. If I do not get anything, I am patient and unagitated like a python and lie down in this way for many days. No problem. One should learn detachment from the bumblebees, for they collect drops of honey here and there and keep it in their honeycomb. But then someone comes and by force takes all the honey away, leaving the bumblebees with nothing. Okay, that's why they call money is honey. It is sweet, but anybody can kill us and take away the money. For our so much money, they can kill us. So many enemies will come. If somebody has no money, why there will be an enemy? No enemy. Therefore, one should learn from the bumblebee not to keep more money than one needs. Similarly, one should learn from the python to stay in one place for many, many days without food and then eat only if something comes in its own way. Thus, the learned Brahmana gave instruction gained from two creatures, namely the bumblebee and the python. So here only two are given, but in the another 11th and to 11th or 12th, this comes 24 gurus. There are so many these kind of gurus will explain. Very wonderful that is. Kvachidalpam kavij क्वचिदल्पम कविचित् भूरि भुञ्जे अन्न स्वादु स्वादु वा क्वचित् भूरि गुणोपेतं गुणहीनमथ क्वचित् श्रद्धयोपहृतं क्वापि कदाचिन्मानवर्जितं भुञ्जे भुक्त्वात् कस्मिंश्चित् दिवा नक्तं यदृच्छया क्वचित् sometime अल्पम very little क्वचित् sometime भूरि a great quantity भुञ्जे I eat annam food स्वादु palatable aswadu stale va either क्वचित् sometime buri great guna upetam a nice flavor guna hinam without flavor uta whether क्वचित् sometimes shraddhaya respectfully upraktam brought by someone vapi sometime kadachit sometime man varjitam offered without respect punje I eat ukta offer eating ata as such kasminchit sometime in some place diva during the daytime naktam or at night idachya as it is available. Sometimes I eat a very small quantity, sometimes a great quantity, sometimes the food is very palatable and sometimes it is stale, sometimes prasad is offered with great respect and sometimes food is given neglectfully. Sometimes I eat during the day and sometimes at night. Thus I eat what is easily available. I am managing just like that. Whatever easily available, I am adjusting. That's why I say sometimes it is good, sometimes bad, sometimes tasty, sometimes not tasty. Okay, sometimes they give with love. Please come and take some day. Take away, go like that. You know? So it's all okay. Chomam dukulam jinam chiram valkil mevava वसे अन्यदापि संप्राप्तं दृष्टधीरहम् Chomam clothing made of linen, dukulam silk or cotton, ajinam deerskin, chiram loincloth, valkalam bark, eva as it is va either vase I put on anya something else api although sampraptam as well dishtabu because of destiny tushta satisfied